So today we're going to talk about the quadratic equation. Put the cards away. The quadratic equation is used if you cannot solve something by factoring. And there will be problems on today's assignment that you cannot factor to find the solution. And if that's the case, you need to use the quadratic equation. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to write it down. Some people are going to freak out because of how complicated it looks, but it's not that bad, especially if you take it one step at a time. So this is the quadratic equation. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And this works for an equation set up as ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0.
That's scary.
It's not that bad. If you take it one step at a time, it's not that bad. It just looks complicated.
Wait, so that is right?
No, if you have a quadratic equation, so something that has a variable squared, that's how you find out what the a, b, and c. The thing on the right is how you find out what the a, b, and c are that you substitute into the thing on the left. All right? Okay. Now, let me give you an example of an equation that will not factor. Do I have to take the cards? Thank you. Let me give you an example of an equation that will not factor, that you cannot factor, but you have to use the quadratic equation for. So that would be something like, let's do 5x squared minus 11x equal to negative 5. The first thing you have to do for this is you want to get everything on the same side. So that means you either move the 5x squared and the minus 11x to the right, or you move the negative 5 to the left. So Tori, would you rather move the negative 5 or move these two? How do you move a negative 5? Awesome. So plus 5 plus 5. So this is going to be 5x squared minus 11x plus 5 equal to 0. Okay, cool. Now if you want to try and factor this, Sarah, what number are you looking for? No, it has to multiply to be what?
25.
So you're looking for something that multiplies to be 25, that adds to be what?
11.
Negative 11. Take that negative into account.
So we're doing stuff from what we did last week.
Well, here's the thing. Tell me what numbers can multiply to be 25.
5 and 5.
Do those add to be negative 11?
No.
What else?
Negative 5 and negative 5.
Do those add to be 11? Or negative 11, okay? What else can multiply to be 25?
Negative 1 and 25.
Okay, so you could do 1 and 25. Do those two numbers add to be 11? How about negative 1 and negative 25? Great. You can't factor this. So, no factor.
No, factor.
But that doesn't mean you can't find the solution.
Okay.
It just means that now you have to use that formula.
Oh, that's a scary formula.
Okay. Now,
Do you take negative 11?
okay, hold on. Pause. Slow down. Shift it back. Stop talking. Okay. First thing you have to do is look at the thing that's on the right and decide what a, b, and c are. So in this case, a is the number that's in front of variable squared. So what's a?
5.
5. B is the number that's in front of plain variable. So what's b?
Negative.
Negative 11. And then c is the number that has no variable. So what's c? 5. Okay, cool. Now we're going to take these three letters and Yeah?
Do you need to bring down your squared?
No. You're just, it's not ax squared, it's just the a part, just the number that's in front of it. Tori.
Okay, because it's negative b and it's negative 11, you become positive 1.
Yep. But we'll get to that in a second. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to substitute stuff into this formula right here from a, b, and c. So first I'm going to do negative, and then b is negative 11, so it's negative 11. Right, and if you want to change that right now, you can. Plus or minus the square root of negative 11 squared minus 4 times 5, which is a, times 5, which is c, all over 2 times a, which is 5.
So it's simply over 10.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Right now I'm just rewriting the equation.
Okay.
Now we can simplify things from here. So first thing that you can simplify is this negative 11. That's just positive 11.
Oh my god.
Then this is plus or minus the square root of, now a couple things in here, and then you can do all over 10 right now if you want to, as Cora pointed out. Negative 11 squared, that's negative 11 times negative 11. Harlia, what is that?
121.
Awesome.
Wait. Oh, okay.
And then you're going to do negative 4 times 5
Negative 20.
times 5.
So 5 times 5 is 100. 5 times negative 4 is 100.
Yeah, so it's minus 100, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So then your answer is
Square root.
No.
Square root of 20.
Hold on. Not quite, not just that. Slow down one step at a time. Don't try and jump ahead. So this is now going to be 11 plus or minus the square root of whatever 121 minus 100 is, which is 21, all over 10. At this point, you're going to split this into two different equations. One of them is going to be the plus equation for this plus or minus. The other is going to be a minus equation for this plus or minus. So one equation is 11 plus square root 21 over 10. And the other is going to be 11 minus square root 21 over 10. Now, for this class, we're going to use decimal approximations. Next year, when you get into, well, not even next year, in about a month, when we start dealing more with square roots, decimal approximations aren't going to work anymore. But for right now, they do. So what you need to do is take your calculator, and if you have a cell phone that you're using as your calculator, turn it sideways. You'll be able to find the square root function. Because I don't know about you guys, but I do not know off the top of my head what square root 21 is.
It's like 12.9.
Nope.
4.5.
No, it says 12 is 140.
Okay, so shh. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just type in the top part of this first equation here. So I'm going to type this in as 11 plus square root 21 and find out what that is.
15.582575.
Okay.
I'm having a blonde moment. I can't.
It's the one that looks like a square root. It's on the left. Yeah, it's the one that doesn't have a number inside the
There's
checkbox.
a Y and a 3 and a 2.
It's the 2. It's the 2.
Okay, Adam, can I?
All right,
So I
hold on. I can give you that in a second. So now the next step is to take this number and then divide it by 10. When you do that, you're going to get this super long decimal, but you need to round it to 2 decimal places, which would be 1.56. This one. All right. Now that's one of the two answers. Now the other answer is this other equation down here, which is 11 minus square root 21
You get 6, then you divide by 10.
divided by 10.
Wait, 6, 0, 4.
So 0.64 if we're rounding to 2 decimal places. When we do more work with square roots, you're not going to do decimal approximations anymore, but for right now this is fine. Yes?
So we'll have 2 answers.
Yeah, just like when we were factoring it.
So on our assignment, we'll have some that will have
Uh-huh.
equation.
Quadratic equation, the quadratic
Some
formula.
will just be the normal factor.
All right, so because this is kind of complicated, I want to go through some of it with you guys. So we're going to look at some of the assignments today together. The first 10, I want you guys to use the quadratic formula for, even if you can factor it. And if you, and I would also like you guys to show your work on a separate sheet of paper for the first 10 at least. Bless you. 11 through 24, you don't have to use the quadratic equation. They factor just fine.
Yeah, but I don't know to calculate it in my
Sure.
page.
All right. So I've got number 1 right there, but I told you guys I wanted you to use a separate sheet of paper for 1 through 10, and if you need paper, I have some on my desk. So I'm going to use a separate sheet of paper too, because I'm going to be a good role model. The one with the 2.
Can you show me real fast how to do it on my phone?
It's the one with the 2. It's just square root.
That's horrible.
So you would do 11 plus square root. Oh, sorry. For yours, you have to do it differently. So you would do square root first. 21 equals plus 11 equals divided by 10 equals. So you have to do the square root first. So you would do square.
Plus and then we divide.
Just throw it, Cora, and if you miss, Jared will get it.
Then 21
So
square
you're
root
so
plus
you can't
and then
even
divide.
get
Plus
out
or
of the
subtracted
chair
from, yeah.
while
Okay,
it's
so-
subtracting.
Oh wait,
I don't. My bad.
I just take out paper.
There are
Mhm.
children starving math.
All right, Adam, I'm going to start with you in just a minute.
There's children starving in America.
Yes, Adam.
Thanks, Al.
All right, so with this one, we've got, this is number 1 on your assignment, 5b squared minus 11b equal to negative 6. We want to get everything on the same side first. So Adam, do you want to move, which one do you want to move?
-6.
How do you move it?
You would turn it into 5b squared minus 11b plus 6.
Good.
And I'm assuming you can't factor that.
No, you can factor it. This one actually will factor, but because it's in questions 1 through 10, I want you to do it using the formula.
So you would turn it into
So what's A?
5,
What's B?
negative 11,
What's C?
6.
Great. So the formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac
I need to write that on my.
all over 2a. Yeah, I'm not going to give it to you on the test, which is next Tuesday.
So this will not be on.
No, this will be on. I'm not giving you the formula. You got to get it in your notes somewhere you can find it, or memorize it.
Oh, I can't remember.
I can
You'll have it memorized. I've got it memorized.
My nose is itchy.
So it becomes 11
Okay.
plus minus negative 11 squared minus 4 times 5 times negative 6. 6
Times positive 6. All over.
all over 12, but 10 over that 10. So
Okay.
then the negative 11 becomes positive 121 immediately. And then the negative 456 becomes negative 120. So 11 plus minus the square root of. Okay, so you split it into the 2 equations after you put that into the 1.
Right.
So it's the 2 equations are 11 plus square root of 1 over 10 and then minus
Right. And what is the square root of 1?
0.2.
No.
Wait, what?
No, you're cutting it in half. What number squared is 1?
1.
Mm-hmm. So the square root of 1 is,
1.
Because 1 divided by itself is 1.
Oh, so it's just 12.
because 1 times itself is 1.
So it's 12 over 10 and 10 over 10, which is 1.
So yeah, so one of them is going to be 11 plus 1, which is 12 over 10. The other one is going to be 11 minus 1, which is 10 over 10.
Which is 1.
So this one is 1, and then this one, if you were to reduce it, would become 6/5,
Or 1 and 1/5.
or 1.2, if you want to do
This is
deduction.
gonna take us a lot of
Welcome to big kid math.
Can I go back to little kid math now?
Nope, too late. You've crossed the Rubicon.
Yeah.
I said she's crossed the Rubicon.
Is that like
The what?
a video game term?
No, it's a history term.
What's a hiscom?
Rubicon.
What is it?
It's a river in Italy. Yeah.
So so how would you write your answer on the
So on the sheet you would say x equals 6/5, comma, x equals 1.
Or can we just do
Or
one
b,
X?
sorry, b. b
Is it
equals
okay
Oh,
to
well,
do
thanks.
X? Because I
Yeah,
just
sure,
wrote
that's
X because he told me that.
That's fine.
I'll do it next time.
Not a big deal.
Wait, can it be 1.22?
It could be 1.2 as well, but 1.22 is incorrect.
That's not what I meant.
I know. I'm playing with you.
Oh.
Don't play with your face.
Can I try the next one?
Sure. So number 2, we've got,
There's a lot of steps, but it's
yeah, if you take it step by step, you'll be fine. If you try and skip steps, no bueno.
no one.
Not good. Yes, we all know what that means.
All right.
Okay, so with the 12 bars, the other side, so we have to minus 12 bars.
Okay.
Just and then,
Jared.
so A would equal 5. Or, right?
Yeah.
Okay. B would equal negative 32.
Nope.
Or does it equal negative?
B is negative 12 because B is the number that's with planar.
Wait, is it supposed to be underneath?
Well, you told me to minus 12r from both sides, and then you skipped a step. You didn't have me rewrite it. Like, it needs to be variable squared, then plain variable, then no variable, in order to find a, b, and c. So, like, if you rewrote this, it would be 5r squared, and then the minus 12r comes in between the 5r squared and the minus 32, because it has to go variable squared, plain variable, no variable,
Okay.
and then equals 0. So your a is 5, your b is negative 12, and your c is the one that doesn't have a variable, which is negative 32.
Wait, B, how did you get B?
You can't get negative 44 because they're not like terms. Negative 12 and negative 32 don't both have x's, they don't combine.
Okay,
Minus 12 pounds and minus 32 apples isn't minus 44 apple pounds.
So did you just like take away the 32 and just put the 12 there?
I've moved stuff around.
Remember, you have to get the pizzas and the salad.
Right. I moved the minus 32. I just put, okay, so Cora, there was 5r squared and minus 32.
Okay.
I just pushed them apart and put in the middle minus 12r. It's still minus 32. It's still 5r squared. It's just now there's a minus 12r in between them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Calculator.
I'm going to have to give you this one. This one's a little harder to use for square roots, but it's not too bad. All right. Now, we have a, b, and c. So if you want to use the quadratic formula, well, not want to, you have to on 1 through 10.
The way to be nice.
I'm not. I'm a math teacher. Who said math
Yeah.
teachers were nice?
Uh,
Who said they were mean?
Everybody. Everyone.
I never said that.
Miss
I said
Smith
math
doesn't like
teachers,
me,
not
Mr.
algebra
Chapman.
teachers.
She's not certified in math.
Algebra is a math.
Yes, but it's a specific
Well,
branch of
She's
math.
nice to me, but everyone's always.
Yes, but it's
See?
still math.
Yeah.
We'll always be divided
That's
by
like
10.
saying,
No.
I hate mammals, so I'll love dogs.
Just 1 and 2. That's not all of them.
2 isn't.
Yeah, 2 is going to be
See my
divided by 10.
point?
How do you know?
As in total
So,
contradiction.
is it
Yes.
gonna be 12?
That's the point.
All right, Adam. Shush.
Real,
And then this one is all over 10, but it's not always going to be all over 10. It's only all over 10 if the a is 5. So then you would do 12 plus or minus the square root of 144 plus 640.
What are you? You're going to stop.
I put the brakes on.
Whoa, bro. I only made it's negative 32.
Okay, so what's negative 12 squared?
Negative 6.
That's cutting it in half. Squaring means multiplying it by itself. What's negative 12 squared?
I can't, okay.
negative 12 times negative 12.
Negative 12 times negative 12?
Mhm.
That's not squaring it.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Squaring is multiplying it by
Square
itself.
root.
Oh, I know what it is.
There's a difference between squaring and square root.
144.
Yes. And then negative 4 times 5.
640 over 10.
Well, you want to know where that 640 came from. Negative 4 times 5 is what?
I know where it came from.
Well, what is negative 4 times 5 then?
Negative 4 times 5 would be negative
And what's that times negative 32?
640.
You sure? Okay. Now, I'm positive. So this is 12 plus or minus the square root of how much? Tori?
What?
Tori?
Oh, for number 2, would you put R because the
Yeah.
variable?
Yeah.
684.
I agree with
784.
No.
Now, depending on which calculator you're using, let me just talk you through something here. Some calculators, you can just type in 12 plus radical 784 and it'll give you the right answer. Some calculators, like this one,
Hold on. So it's that first.
yeah, this one works the same way as yours. Let me go through it. So, with this one, Jared, okay, with this one, what you have to do first is type in 784 and then hit the square root button. And it tells you the square root of that is 28. That's how the iPhone calculators work. It's not how the Samsung calculators work. I know. But that's how the Apple calculators work. Those of you who are using an iPhone.
I don't like these calculators.
Well,
The square root, I tried the 2 one and it's also, I can't.
You have to type in the number first and then hit square root, like I just said.
So it's 21
square
square root
root.
plus the square root of 184. Wait, so I pressed 21 square root, it went 4.5825.
Yeah, that's the square root of 21. So this is going to be 12 plus 28
40.
over 10, which is 40 over 10, which is,
4.
so this is 4, or 12 minus 28
Which is
over 10,
That's point up.
negative
Wow,
16,
X equals 1.6.
close.
Negative 1.6.
negative 8 over.
It's actually
Oh yeah, R. Thank you.
Wait, what?
So it would be negative.
We're going to call you quality assurance, Emma.
negative 8 over 5.
Right. Negative 8 over 5 if you want to go with the fractions. Fractions are friendly.
Yes.
Wait, so it's X equals
Fractions are
R
fiends.
equals?
No, this one is R equals because the variable is R.
For both of them?
R
Yeah.
equals-
Wait. Okay.
No
On
one?
the first one,
Nobody?
is it V equals
That was a good plan.
If you put X down, I wouldn't mark it wrong.
You said the variable is R, and I said R, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, you still guys go with that little joke?
what joke?
The whole positive joke?
Put that away.
That's not a joke. It was just like a pun on a pun.
That's not away.
Punny.
No, Cora,
Still
you're
not
talking
away.
about positive, negative.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about
God,
people
Cora.
who make fun of like whatever.
Okay.
Shut up.
So
Okay.
now number 3 is a special circumstance, so I definitely want to go through number 3 with you guys here, okay?
Oh,
Can we go through 1 through 10 with you?
We'll go through as much as I feel like you guys are paying attention or need.
I am paying attention, so I don't get it. Wait,
Okay.
are,
Let's decide that later.
hold on. Can we do one of the bottom ones?
No, we're gonna do no. The bottom ones are review.
Is it just what you would do, like?
Like get everything on the same side and then factor it, and then set both of them equal to 0.
So is it gonna be x equals? Is it what I messed up on?
Yeah. All right. So let's number 3 special. So let's talk about number 3 here. Yeah. Tristan,
Now what do you want me to do now? Oh, yeah. Am I going?
you were raising your hand. What do you need?
Oh, I was stretching.
Okay. Hold on, Sarah. So this is 9n squared equal to negative 4 plus 6n. Jared. Shh. All right, so then the first thing you have to do, Sarah, is either move the negative 4 and the plus 6 to the left, or move the 9n squared to the right. That's fine. So if you move the 9n squared to the right, what do you have to do? Not just 9,
9n
squared.
squared.
Okay, so the left-hand side now is 0, and the right-hand side you're going to put the...
Negative 9n squared
Plus 6n.
plus 6n minus 4.
You have now you want to do it in this order so that you get your A, your B, and your C correct.
Negative 9n squared.
Sorry?
Could you put the equal 0 on the other side?
Absolutely. If you wanted to, like from this beginning, Emma, you could have 9n squared equal to negative 4 plus 6n. And then you could minus 6n from both sides and add 4 to both sides. Or you could even just have this be equal to 0 like that.
Okay.
0 equals 0.
Okay, now, A is what, Sarah?
A, is 9, negative 9
B,
is 6
C.
and negative 4.
All right. So then you're going to do negative 6 plus or minus the square root. And then in here, 6 squared minus 4 times negative 9 times negative 4. All over 2 times negative 9.
So negative 18.
Yep, negative 18 on the bottom.
Whoa.
You don't always have to put the negative 18 right away.
No. That Emma just 2 times negative 9. Emma was like, that's negative 18, and so that's fine. We can just put it down.
Wait, well, negative 4 and
Down.
9 is positive 36.
Well, with this one, you want to multiply all 3 of them before you put down what it is.
Negative
Yeah.
36
If this is decimal, you go over 2, right?
Round 2 decimal places.
Positive 132.
Okay, are you looking at number 3 right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to it.
Right?
So, hold on. This is 36. Now, negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36. Positive 36 times negative 4 is what?
140. Yeah.
Now, there's going to be a problem that comes up here, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. This is why 3 is a special case. So if you do negative 6,
Is 3 the only special in the case?
not necessarily. Now, if you try to do this, if you try to do the square root of negative 108, so 108 negative square root, my calculator says error.
Null?
It's not null.
Is it an error?
No. It's not no solutions, it's no real solutions.
I think we've
And that's the answer.
How fake?
Yeah.
Are they always going to be like that if they kind of look like that?
Sorry?
Are they always going to be no real solutions if they look like
No, absolutely not. So, okay, listen please. Now the reason that it's no real solutions and not no solutions is when you take algebra 2, or maybe even next year in geometry, I think Mr. Bouchard covers it a little bit in geometry, you're going to learn about another number system other than the real numbers. So far, in math, all you've dealt with are real numbers.
Like 1, 2, 3,
That's
4,
awesome.
Those are whole numbers. Real numbers are everything you've covered so far. So like square root of 21 is a real number because it's 1.2567. Shh, hold on. Now, when you take the square root of a negative number, it's something different. It's called a complex number or imaginary.
It's too many.
Just because it's called imaginary, though, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does. And people who are like electricians or engineers use it all the time. This would have a solution, but the solution is outside of the real number system, so we're not going to talk about it.
Is that why calculators can't find it?
Mm-hmm. Because they can only compute real numbers, and that's not a real number, the square root of negative 108.
Calculators are kind of smart when they
Do they make calculators for this?
Yeah.
Calculators are
Okay, what was
only
your question,
smart
Sarah?
if they're only-
I figured out how you get negative 108. I was wondering how you got that.
36 minus
Yeah,
144.
I
Keep pressing random buttons, it's just gonna be
Shut up, Jared.
Okay, so it's not no solutions, it's not null,
No real solution.
no real solutions.
So could it be
Sure.
neural?
No,
Nurse.
If,
Somebody get me a nurse.
if you're into brevity, you can write N period, R period, S period. No. I won't remember what that's supposed to mean.
Nurse!
Nurse isn't even spelled like that.
No, I know. Like, if you write the word nurse, N-U-R-S-E, no, that's not right.
I'm just gonna write no nurse.
Remember it though.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm
You know what?
You don't know that difference.
You know what's funny? Somebody says get a
Can
job.
we look
No one
at-
said
Yeah,
get a
Tori.
nurse. No one wants
Oh, are we gonna go
a nurse to take care of them.
No identified.
People say nurse all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I-
I don't know. What I'm saying is they don't say, give me a
know
nurse.
what?
They say, get me a doctor.
Okay, so let's look at 4. 4 is another special solution.
Oh my god, be quiet. Oh, this is
4 is another special case.
Oh,
Now, in the A spot, like everything's already on the right side, or on the left side. In the A spot, you've got
-1.
-1. We'll talk about the B spot in a second. And then in the C spot,
0.
no.
81.
81 is in the C spot. Good. How do you know it's 0, Harlia?
Because when there's no M in the middle, it has to be 0 because anything times 0 is
No.
And then when you add 0, it keeps the same.
Yeah.
It's body odor.
B-O.
B equals O. Body equals odor.
Yeah, huh. Okay, so now, back to the equation here.
What's disgusting is that it comes
Quiet. So I'm going to do negative 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times 81. I know, it's going to go away. I'm just entering everything from the equation first, and then I'm going to deal with it next. Adam, shh. Tyler, shh. All right. Now, negative 0, there's no such thing as negative 0, so this just goes away.
Unless it's hiding.
You're left with plus or minus the square root of 0. Negative 4 times negative 1 is
Positive
1.
4.
positive 4.
Oh,
There's a negative and negative.
Which positive four?
And then 4 times 81,
It's a large number.
24.
so plus 324 all over
You do know you're still recording, right?
Ow!
negative 2. The square root of 324 is 18. So this is,
0.
Taken away.
it's gone. Negative 0 is nothing.
0 is nothing.
Well, 0 is something, but
It's the nothing that is.
See?
Oh my
That was
lord.
deep.
it's like a paradox.
That was deep.
It's a mind.
You want to hear another paradox? I'm a liar.
Oh.
Everybody lies sometimes. They lie.
She-
I lie.
he's-
Paradox.
Wait,
he's-
where'd you get the?
yeah, it can't be
I don't
true.
even know what a paradox
Where'd you get the 18?
But it can't be false either.
Because one is plus 18 over negative 2. The other is negative 18 over negative 2.
That's interesting.
How did you get 18?
The square root of 324.
Oh, yeah.
So why is this one special?
Because there's no b, you have to fill in a 0
Oh.
as the b.
Is that just like number? Give me a minute. Oh wait, what about number 6? The B6.
Number 6. You have to get everything on the same side first.
No, B would be 8.
Yep, b is 8 and
Oh,
c is
yeah.
negative 30.
So, Mr. Taft.
Uh-huh.
So, do you have to get everything on the same side since like A, B, and C, like A is always going to be the variable squared and then B is going to be just the variable?
Well,
For now I would like you to, because it's going to, like,
you don't want to mess up the
you're very
sign.
likely to confuse yourself with the sign error if you don't.
Okay.
Unless you're like,
Number 10.
Adam?
Who were the first people who invented numbers?
20,000 years ago, the earliest evidence we have is something called the Ashango bone in West Africa.
Ha! See,
So-
they were the first people to find out numbers.
Numbers are roughly 20,000 years old, which is roughly about how old language is.
so,
As far as we know, that's the evidence that we have. It could be older than
Nah,
that.
it's just Jared.
Yeah,
I'm not
Can you
just
speak
Jared.
that
I am the Jared.
I can't speak it. No,
Can you read by
goodbye, world.
I can read it in numbers, but I can't. Like, binary is incredibly cumbersome to try and like convey language in.
Okay, all the ladies go.
Numbers aren't too bad. Yeah, yeah. Do me a favor, turn off the projector.
Can I stay after?
What? What are we
I'm
doing?
not going to be here very late.
Well, I mean, just like 5 minutes.